Alright, you guys, so we are back with another adventure today. We are actually located in the Marietta City Cemetery. Before we begin this journey, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you guys post a comment in the comment section below, letting me know that you subscribed, or if you liked the video, or just want to have a conversation. I'll be more than happy to reply to you guys. Today's journey, we are here at this cemetery to pay our respects to Mary Phagan, who was a worker at the local Atlanta pencil factory in 1913. Unfortunately, her life was cut short on April 27th when she was murdered in the basement of that factory. And after multiple reports and multiple interviews with police, a lot of suspects were being cleared, and they only had one person in mind, and that was a guy named Leo Frank. But a little bit more about Leo Frank. He was a Jewish American. He was the supervisor at the time of the Atlanta pencil factory. Mary Phagan was actually going to meet with him to pick up her paycheck that day. Unfortunately, things just went from good to bad very quickly. So today's journey, we're going to just kind of travel through we're going to travel through these moments and just kind of get a better understanding of the case, as well as trying to figure out who exactly murdered this beautiful woman, or this beautiful girl, and cut her life so short. There is a marker out here in Marietta as well that talks about the lynching of Leo Frank. Leo Frank was actually lynched by a mob who eventually cut the power to the prison, and after cutting the power to the prison, they actually abducted him, drove him here to Marietta, where that historical marker is today that talks about his lynching. There is an oak tree right across the street that actually is the oak tree that they used when they lynched Leo Frank. So we're going to dive a little bit more into that story as well, and on top of that, we're going to try to discover who exactly murdered this young lady. But stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Love you guys. Talk to you guys again soon. Alright, you guys, so we have reached our second location on the Mary Phagan and also the Leo Frank saga. Now, Leo Frank, this is actually a marker talking about his lynching. I was actually reading that they actually stored this away for 4 years before they brought it back out, because there was a lot of road construction going on. But a little bit about this is that Leo Frank was a superintendent of the National Pencil Company that was here in Atlanta. He was actually later lynched for the murder of the 13-year-old. It actually turned out to be a highly controversial trial that also had a lot of tensions among the community, where Governor John M. Slayton actually commuted his sentence from death to life in prison. There was actually a lynch mob that was actually very angry with the decision of the governor. So what happened after that final statement came from the governor to change from the death penalty to life in prison, it fueled the lynch mob, where they eventually drove all the way to Milledgeville. They actually kidnapped him from that state prison in Milledgeville, drove all the way back to Marietta, where they hung him from a oak tree. So, you know, that is a very sad thing to actually have to be able to read and understand. It's really troubling. I was reading on another thing too. There is a testimony that came out from Alonzo Mann of his official confession, basically in 1982, 69 years later, because Alonzo Mann was actually describing what he witnessed, which was Mr. Conwell, who was carrying the body of Mary Phagan to the basement of the factory. So Alonzo never stood up, never spoke out about the murder or Conwell carrying the body because he was fearful of Conwell, who made threats to man. So he carried this all the way to his deathbed when he eventually passed away at the age of 83. You know, so that just shows you how much we got to work with our system and just go through all the evidence that we have and make sure that we have the right person on trial, so we don't have another case like Leo Frank, or like over here. You know, this is a monument that states, in respectful memory of thousands across America denied justice by lynching, victims of hatred, prejudice, and ignorance. So if you look at this, this is a very strong message. Between 1880 and 1946, now can you imagine, that is a pretty big gap. There was 570 Georgians that was actually lynched. So we did have a very ferocious lynch mob that was coming around at the time. So we just got to do our part and make sure that the people accused of a crime are actually the suspects. And unfortunately, Leo Frank was another witness, victim of a senseless crime and being charged for something he never committed. May his soul rest in peace out there in Glendale, New York. I hope I can go out there one day and pay my respects to him. You know, reading on him and understanding his life, he was a very loved man. You know, he was a Jewish American. He was a great guy. You know, all he wanted to do was work, just like Mary Phagan. She was just going there just to pick up her paycheck. Whoever knew that time that she kissed her mom and said goodbye was that going to be the last time that was going to happen. So it's just, you know, prime examples like this shows us how precious life can really be, and always watch our surroundings. I'm actually very happy that I was able to take some time and learn this story. I was actually out in Alabama getting ready for my guest speaking when our good friend Jenny and her husband actually was mentioning us that maybe we should try to do a video on this as well. So thanks Bill, thanks Jenny for that advice. You guys are great, love you guys. Can't wait to come out and hang out with you guys again. It was always fun. But with that being said, I love you guys. Thanks again for all the new subscribers. You guys are the best. I can't do it without you guys. Can't do it without my wife. She's over here doing the camera while I'm out here talking to you guys, so I appreciate all that. Our little one is usually here with us, but she's with her grandma now. So stay tuned. We got an action-packed weekend. We got a couple reenactments coming up. Can't wait. We're going to be out in Maysville, Georgia tomorrow and Sunday. We're going to go out there Sunday also. They're going to do an old-fashioned church service, so I'm looking forward to that. It's super exciting. Channel's growing, views growing, everything's growing on this channel. I'm reaching so many new people. Had a great trip out in Macon with the Allman Brothers. If you haven't seen the video, I'll drop the link in the description box as well. Check it out. It's filled with a lot of history. Got to see their graves, and got to see Dwayne and Greg's grave, as well as Barry and Butch. They were all great people. I wish I could have met them before their time was over, but being able to listen to their music makes me feel like I'm closer to them, so that's always a good thing. But with that being said, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.